Hey everyone, Vanessa here, your favorite registered nurse. Often when I am helping people navigate the healthcare system, they ask me what are some tips and tricks to preparing for your specialist appointment. And I wanted to share those with you, so stay tuned. One of the first things I wanted to mention is I'm a registered nurse in Ontario, so I will be offering tips and tricks for OHIP related referrals. However, if you live somewhere else, I'm sure some of these tips and tricks still apply. I wanted to start off with the lengthy wait times of specialist appointments. So let's say a secretary calls and lets you know that your appointment is 8, 9, or 10 months into the future, and you just can't wait that long. Well, you have an option to be put on a cancellation list, and that means when someone cancels their appointment, you will be on the list to be called to get scheduled in. Sometimes this means that you're still waiting 6 months, but it's a lot better than what the other wait times might have been. Another option is to call the office on a regular basis, maybe every 2 weeks, and ask about what cancellation appointments have come up. You might be lucky on Mondays, given people often cancel on the weekend and leave messages, so perhaps if you called Monday afternoon, there might be some cancellation appointments available that you can get put into. So what happens when your family doctor refers you to a specialist? They refer you by faxing a referral over along with all of your necessary documents that support the referral to that specialist. Sometimes referrals can be misplaced in the chaos of getting it sent off to that specialist. So if you do not hear back from the specialist within 2 to 3 weeks of seeing your doctor, this should be a sign that you should follow up. So at the time of that initial appointment with your family doctor where you're going to get that specialist referral, you might want to ask your family doctor where they're referring you to. This is also great because then you could look up the specialist online and see what hospitals they're affiliated with or what kind of research they have done and see how that relates to your diagnosis or the reasons why you're being referred. So if you haven't gotten your appointment yet and the secretary is calling you, some good questions to ask the secretary are also, do you have all of the supporting material from my doctor so that this appointment can be the most effective possible with the specialist? Does the specialist recommend any further testing? And if the secretary is giving you information about the testing that you need to get before the specialist appointment, it's also a good idea to ask them when they should be done by, because you don't want to wait too soon to your specialist appointment to get all your testing done, and then your testing is not available when your specialist is having the appointment with you. Studies have shown that patients can forget 30 to 60% of information given to them during a specialist appointment. So imagine all of those questions you had prepared in your mind that you didn't even get to ask. It's important to write down your questions. Do research even before the appointment and write down those questions that you would like answered during your specialist appointment. And then make sure to write down the answers while you're in the appointment so that you can remember them correctly after. On top of that, I would also suggest that you write down all of your medications and conditions on a piece of paper so that when you go to the specialist, you can accurately remember a list of medicine and conditions that you have so that it can be a much more robust conversation with the specialist. Lastly, it's important to ask about next steps. If that specialist is going to send you for more testing, find out when you need to have that testing done and if you need a follow-up appointment to talk about that testing. If you have testing done, follow up on that testing. Some people don't realize, but when you go and get an MRI or a CT scan at a hospital, right after that you can go to the film library and get a copy of the CDs that they have made with regards to your imaging. That is also very important because once you have follow-up with the specialist, it is likely that they're going to want to review those images, and that saves you a step of going back to the hospital. If the specialist suggests that you have follow-up as well, ask them what the follow-up period is going to be. If it's going to be 1, 2, or 3 months, and then make sure that you make an appointment on your way out. If you don't make an appointment on your way out, put a reminder in your calendar so that you can follow up with the specialist's office and make sure that you get the follow-up required. That's all for now. Thank you for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe so that you can continue to watch all the videos.